The closing statements, and as we told you at the beginning, the order at the end, Jeff Perry, Ray Kasperowitz, Joe Malone, and Bob Hayden. Jeff Perry.
Well, thank you for all of you tuning in, listening in to WATD, tuning in to PAC TV, and for this great crowd who is very polite crowd. Thank you for paying attention and watching this race. As I said in my opening comments, people are engaged in this race. They want something to change in Washington. They're not happy with the status quo. They're not happy with the size, growth, and cost of the federal government. And so the people of the 10th District have a real clear choice here. They have a real clear choice when they come to the primary, I believe, and they have a real clear choice on November 2nd. Do they want to send someone down to Washington who has the political courage to stand up to the establishment? Do they want to send someone down to Washington who has taken the tough votes and taken the tough stances, someone who is known for fighting for reform on illegal immigration, someone who does not believe the problems related to health care should be taken over by the government, that we should be reforming the cost side of health care, someone who is always unconditionally supporting our troops and veterans, someone who wants to get down there and work on the national debt and the budget so we're not passing on generational dependence on government and this debt that is going to result in a lower standard of living? Or do they want to send a Democrat down there who's going to be lockstep, status quo with Nancy Pelosi? I think the choice is clear. I think the 10th Congressional District is ready to send a conservative down to Washington, someone who will stand up for what we believe in, someone who will work across the aisle when necessary, but will always have the interest of the 10th District firsthand, whether that be Independent, Republican, or Democrat.
Thank you, Jeff Perry. Now let's go under Jeff. And our closing statement, Ray Kasperowitz.
Well, thanks again for everybody being here. We all enjoyed it. About this time last year, my concern for our country's future motivated me to get into this race. Run and do something that would have been unthinkable. Run for an office with no previous political experience. But I thought about my father, who fought up the boot of Italy and then through France and Germany. He lost a high school buddy in Pearl Harbor. He lost his best Army buddy to machine gun fire in Germany. His service represents our family's investment. And we all have these stories, and you've all made this investment in this country. We've invested too much to have it frittered away by a central government that wants to be all-encompassing, all-powerful. It has to be stopped. Abba Eban, the former Prime Minister of Israel, said, "Nations are like men. They exercise all alternatives until there's nothing left to do but the right thing." That's where we are now. We have no choice but to do the right thing. I want to represent the 10th District in Washington and get them on the right path. I'd appreciate your support. Thank you.
That was Ray Kasperowitz. Final comment. Now we're going to move on to Joe Malone, your closing statement.
Thank you very much. And to the sponsors of the debate, thank you. Appreciate this opportunity. And to all the listeners, thanks for tuning in. Since we kicked off this campaign on March 21st, I've traveled throughout the district. We do something called Joe's on the Job, where I spend time with small business people, Morning Joe with Joe, where I listen to voters, citizens throughout the district, and we've had all sorts of other opportunities to meet, listen, and recognize that people in this district are wonderful. They work hard, they care about their families, they care about their community, they want what's best for their country, and they're being smothered by this big, intrusive, high-taxing, big-spending government that seems to think that they want to do what they believe is right versus what the people know is right. And I got into this race because I believe the American dream is something unique and precious. There's no French dream, there's no British dream, there's no Italian dream. There's the American dream. And the reason why that dream has been alive and well for years is not because we had crazy experiments with things like this Obamacare or the latest with the regulations or with the stimulus package, because we believed in less government, lower taxes, and more freedom. And that's what our Constitution's all about. And I'm going to fight like hell to make sure that that Constitution is kept alive and well. Thank you very much for listening tonight. I appreciate it a whole lot.
That was candidate Joe Malone giving his final comment. And now we've got one more final comment from Bob Hayden, your final comment tonight for our listeners?
I again want to say thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak here. I think we all agree. You've heard us say a lot of the things that are very similar. We have to fix government. Government is out of control. The people in Washington are not listening to us anymore. They're on a reckless spending spree, and they don't want to stop. And it has to stop. It's not too late to stop it. I truly believe that the best days of this country are ahead of us, not behind us. But we have to act now, and it's going to take a lot of work. Now, you as voters have 4 choices. You've got 4 of us up here to choose from. So you've heard what we all have to say. I ask you, you got 2 people here that have been professional politicians for a long time, and you have 2 that haven't been. You got to make a choice, and I ask you to think long and hard. Who do you think is going to be able to go down there and get the job done? Who's going to? I'll tell you one thing about myself. I'm not going to fit in there very well. They're not going to like me. I'm going to butt heads. I'm going to think about improving my political career. I'm not a politician. I don't want to be a politician. I'm here to get a job done. And I ask that you vote for me because I'm only thinking about this and nothing else. So I ask for your vote. Thank you.
You've been listening to the first half of the WATD Plymouth League of Women Voters political forum. These are the Republican candidates for the 10th Congressional District.